So get your nose out of your phone because we're live.
We're live, okay. So, well, I was actually just had a couple of things I wanted to keep on my phone in case.
Oh, because you want to talk about it.
I want to talk about it, yes. So,
all right, so we're home. We didn't do as many lives as we thought we were going to do because we actually were just enjoying ourselves.
Yep.
So, like, we spent most of the day, well, she spent most of the day at the pool yesterday.
Yep. So, yeah. So we didn't go live very much. Honestly, besides the stuff we showed you kind of through some of the areas of the hotel were the highlights. So we stayed for 2 nights at Portofino Bay. It's one of the Loews, or is it Loews? I don't know.
It's Loews.
Loews.
They pronounce it Loews.
Yeah, the Loews hotels, which is part of Universal Orlando.
The resort.
The resort, yeah. So it was actually supposed to be themed like
the actual Portofino, Italy.
Yeah.
And it is pretty close to looking like it from afar. You know,
Mm-hmm.
They're using their studio magic to make it look like the bay and, you know, all that stuff. The thing I don't sort of like about it is they use a lot of the painting to make the architecture look like it's, you know, looks like the actual architecture. They don't like actually build it. They don't like actually make it physical. They use their special painting techniques to make it look like brickwork or columns or stuff coming out. I wish they would build more, make it more physical, but that's just me.
Right. And coming from so one thing that springs to mind just close over at the parks, they have Poseidon's Fury area, which is just, I mean, huge, intricate. It's very detailed, and it looks more authentic to me, you know, honestly.
Yeah, I'm
just
actually
being more of like a Grecian area, you know.
Well, yeah, like that whole area back in the day when it was just Lost Continent and everything was built and it's 3D and it's there, you know, physically there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, you know. I mean, from far away, Portofino Bay looks good, but you start going like to the lobby and it's got like that brickwork, but it's just painted brickwork. It's not real brickwork.
Right. Which is, you know, it's possible. It's just not, you know, I mean, just not, I'm trying to think of the right word, like affordable to do something like that. I don't know. So I wouldn't say I went to Portofino Bay thinking, you know, in my mind, I'm like, you know, they have the pictures on the brochures that never look like the actual room, and you know, you're not going to ride in a gondola, you know, outside at Portofino Bay, you know, and I knew that. It's just like it was a feeling, you know, we're going to Portofino Bay. It's going to feel different than going to a Motel 6, and don't get me wrong, because it definitely did. But I would say it, as far as can be considered to be a premier hotel, you know, we really enjoy Cabana Bay, which is not a premier hotel, much better in my opinion than Portofino, and we're going to tell you why. So I think just to start, like, let's tell you about what we thought were the pros of the stay. And one thing we didn't even realize, because we used to watch a travel vlogger who really wasn't a travel vlogger, although he calls himself that. So I didn't realize, you know, at Portofino, I had read that they have priority seating for restaurants. And I'm like, I in my mind, God, I'm 44 years old. I have no idea what that means. So Mark was trying to get us a reservation at Big Fire, which is a newer restaurant. I think it's been around about 3 years. And he went to the concierge.
Yes, I felt so fancy going in there too.
Yes, and they said no, because you're staying here, you don't have to, like, we'll take care of the reservation for you, even if it's full. We get you in because it's part of the perks of staying here. You
stay at one of the premier resorts, they get you in because they have priority seat. That's what they call it. Because I was like, 7 o'clock, and he's like, yeah, usually that's a bad time. You know, it's usually packed, but since you're staying with us, and he made like 3 keystrokes on the computer, pretty much. He's like, 7 o'clock, and I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, you're in. Anything else? And I was like, nope, that's it.
Yep. And I think we'll talk separately about our experience at Big Fire. We'll just kind of talk about that separately. I will say, being a local person, to me, the express passes would be, you know, I mean, I can go to the park whenever I want. They would be nice. Unfortunately for myself, I threw out my back 2 weeks ago. So even just kind of walking from our room to the lobby was kind of a pain for me. So I didn't really plan on going over to the park very much. I mean, I could go whenever I wanted. I wanted to just spend time at the resort and use it as my decompression time. It's the first multi-day off that's not been a weekend that I've had. So I took off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then of course the weekend. But I would say the cost of a express pass is, in my opinion, I don't want to speak to that because Mark has had more experience. He did go to the park. He did use express pass, and he noticed, like, for himself, just going to single rider was probably faster.
I would say if you're going as a family and you want to get the express passes, what people seem to do as a hack is go to one of these resorts for a night because everybody in the room gets an express pass. That's a lot of money saved for one night staying at that hotel for the full price.
Right.
And if you're a family and you want to stay together, the express pass is going to get you there as fast or faster than using a single rider line. Now, for us too, we always use the single rider if it's available because yes, you do get on quite faster, except on Velocicoaster. That's not everything else. If it has a single rider line, you seem to get through faster. So basically, yes, the express pass was not worth it if you go as a single person.
And if you're not spending the whole day there. I mean, I think
unless your ride does not have a single rider. But also, yeah, if you spend the whole day there.
Right. If you had spent the whole day there, it might have been more worth it. But
so, from my experience, I mean, it worked on ET because ET doesn't have single rider.
Right.
But Transformers, I probably could have got in faster, just single rider, or as fast as single rider. So
yeah, and to kind of put it into perspective, because as we disclosed in our previous video, Mark gets an employee discount there, so we did pay nearly as much as they would for a regular guest. So I believe the room we stayed in, which was a standard room, was like $375 a night. Something like
that was just at this point in time, too.
At this point in time, right.
It fluctuates throughout the year, obviously.
Right. I mean, and now it's obviously it's summer. It's going to be peak season for the parks. But to Mark's point, let's say you have 4 people in your party. On a normal day during peak season, you would probably spend anywhere from $150 to $200 a day for each person for Express Pass. So if you have a family of 4, that's $800 for one day, where the cost between a value resort and this resort probably was like $200. So basically for a family of 4, you'd be getting 3 Express Passes for free. And in addition, you get the Express Pass the day you check in and the day you check out. So we checked in on the June 15th, and we had an Express Pass on June 15th. We had one on June 16th, and we had one on checkout day, which is today, June 17th. It's the 17th, right?
Today's the 17th.
Sorry, I feel like I'm a little off.
So yeah, people try to check in as early as possible so they can go to the park with their Express Pass.
Right, because the hotel will keep your luggage. And obviously, most hotels, you can't check in until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. When Mark went down to take some things down to the car this morning, it was packed. I mean, lots of people trying to check in at 10 o'clock in the morning.
And I don't blame you. You want to get your Express Pass.
Exactly.
And then I'm sure a lot of people are probably checking out as early as possible to use their Express Pass for the entire day. Because yes, you check out, but your Express Pass is still good for the entire day. Right. If we were still at the parks right now, we could still be using Express Pass. Right. But another thing, I'm sure it would be better if all the attractions were open. But Hogwarts Express was down for maintenance. Mummy's obviously down for maintenance. You still can't get on Hagrid's, and you still can't get on Velocicoaster with an Express Pass.
Yeah. And for those of you who aren't regulars to Universal Orlando, they do post anywhere between 2 and 3 weeks ahead of time that if rides are going to go down for maintenance. So if you're seriously planning a vacation and you want to know what rides are going to be open, take a look at that. So you're not getting there on the day you want to come to the park and be like, oh, I'm so disappointed because this ride's down for 2 weeks. Don't pull a Clark Griswold and go to Wally World and it's closed for 2 weeks. So that's my little mom joke. My 80s.
Your 80s mom joke.
My 80s mom
Okay,
joke.
well, I guess we should actually talk about the resort now instead of other
Right,
stuff.
right.
We're rambling, but...
Yeah, so another perk of staying on site, excuse me, another perk of staying on site is you have two options for free transportation. One is the shuttle buses. And then for certain resorts, including Portofino Bay, they have the water taxi. So you get to get on this little boat and it takes you through the lagoon to the park, and you basically bypass security because they do a security check at the hotel when you're just leaving to get on the boat, which is nice because you totally avoid that just security hubbub or hub. And you would have to do that if you got on the shuttles.
If you get on the shuttles take you to before that big hub with the security. So you still got to get off the bus, go up the escalator, go through the line that everyone else has to get through. That if you park in the parking lot, so it's basically like you park in the parking lot. You go up the stairs. You still have to wait in that huge line, get through security, and then walk to City Walk. You take the boats. Before you even get on the boat, you go through security. You wait for the boat. You get dropped off in the middle of City Walk. So there's less walking and pretty much a very short line to get through security. So if you stay at a resort that has the water taxis, I would do that and hope it doesn't have a bunch of lightning or rain, because they don't like to run the boats with lightning and rain, obviously.
Yeah. And luckily, the only thing about this trip is the weather has been unseasonably warmer than it normally is. I want to say,
it doesn't really bother me. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hot, but for some reason, I don't think it's like super, super bad. But that's just me. But yes, it is very hot.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to sweat. And when you, we went to dinner in City Walk one night and I literally had beads of sweat. Like the back of my neck was just sopping wet. I just don't like that. But that's like I said, opposites attract, and we are definitely that definition of complete opposites in a lot of ways. Like the heat doesn't bother you and the cold doesn't bother me. So we're just kind of like different like that. Like he's more sensitive, I think, to cold than I am. So.
Okay, so we got the transportation out of the way.
Yeah, you saw the room tour.
The room tour, yes.
And, we had a pretty good spot. We were on the west side, so literally we just walked down at our door to the water taxi. I mean, it was 5 feet ahead, or, it was just really close. We were close to the ice machine, and, the room was nice. Like I said, it was a little bit dated. The furniture was a little warped, but, it was clean. The staff was great.
Oh, the staff is amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Very, very awesome, very nice.
Right, and you could tell that in some areas they're understaffed, and I went to Starbucks on Thursday morning, and the line was out the door. It was really, really, really slow, and we found out that really for breakfast at Portofino Bay, you have a Starbucks or you have. I think you found a place.
The Trattoria is what they call it.
Yeah.
And there is a breakfast buffet there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like $27 for the buffet.
Yeah. And I would just think, for a family staying there, probably you'd want something more quick serve if you were going to the parks, and park it over.
It had other stuff too, but
yeah. But it was.
There's really not very much breakfast wise at the whole Orlando resort anyway. I'm sure like at the other hotels there are breakfast options, but in City Walk basically the only options are if you want donuts or cinnamon rolls, you go to Voodoo or Cinnabon.
It's sweet and
or you go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
But I found out that the Hard Rock Cafe is open for breakfast, so you can go to the Hard Rock. And I think that's the only places that you can get breakfast in City Walk.
Yeah.
So if you want breakfast and not at your hotel, those are your options at City Walk. And then I think 3 broomsticks in the park. We have to have reservations.
Yes.
And they don't do it at the other.
I don't think they do it at Hogsmeade anymore. It's one of the two that they don't do it at. I can't remember.
So it's just 3 broomsticks. It's not a
the leaky cauldron. I can't remember. So, and with your with your hotel key, you also get an hour early park admission to whichever park is doing early park admission.
As long as you have a ticket.
Yeah, as long as you have a park ticket, you have to have a park ticket too. And there's, I want to say it's like just 2 or 3 rides that are open early.
It depends. They change that as well. They rotate what is available at early park admission. Like right now, I do believe it is basically the Hogsmeade area, Islands of Adventure. So you can ride Hagrid's or all the rides in that area. That's early park admission.
Yep.
That's all you get for the first hour that they're open. You got to walk through Seuss Landing and go to Hogsmeade.
Yeah, and you probably have a couple people, your ticket will be checked a couple times to make sure you're allowed to be back there. But, because they still let people, like, I think, in certain parts of the park, but you can't ride anything unless you got early park admission. So, so yesterday we decided to spend, like Mark said, some time at the pool. And there's 3 pools at the hotel. Again, with my back, I thought, I'm just going to be someplace a little bit closer to the room in case it bothers me or I need to go back. So we went to the beach pool, which is, it's a pretty small pool, but they have a water slide, and then they do have a beachy kind of area. And it was very warm. The water was like bath water. I mean, it wasn't super hot, but it wasn't refreshing.
Yeah, once your body got used to it, it feels good. But yeah, it was like, wow, the water's pretty warm.
Yeah.
But it's a beach pool. It's got a zero entry or whatever they call that, where you just walk in like the beach.
Yeah. And I think the deepest depth was like 4'9".
Like 5 foot. I think it was just straight 5 foot was the deepest. It got 2 spa hot tub areas.
Mm-hmm. And they had beach balls that you could just take and go with, and they had hula hoops and
pool noodles.
Yep. And he felt really bad. There was a gentleman, like if you think of someone like a cruise director, he's trying to facilitate activities for the kids. They wanted to do a hula hoop contest for both the kids and the adults could have one too, and you could win a free smoothie from the beachside bar. And I knew I couldn't hula hoop. I mean, even if my back was fine, I couldn't do a hula hoop. So we just kind of watched, and then after Mark left, they did a Ring of Fire game for the adults, where basically they have 5 different color hula hoops and 2 of each color. So they had like 10 hula hoops on the beach, and then the guy turns his back and counts to 7, and you jump to a hoop, and whichever hoop you end up in, then what he does is he said, okay, everyone who's in this yellow color hoop, for example, is out. But again, there weren't many adults at the pool anyway. Obviously there were folks there with their kids, but I think only 4 or 5 of us participated. So I won a free smoothie, which was about this big. I mean, it wasn't like some huge smoothie, but it was good. And they had like 12 different flavors. They had all kinds of different alcoholic drinks, different food that you could order. And I got to the point where I was hungry, and I ordered some chicken wings, thinking, oh my gosh, some barbecue chicken wings sound good. Well, they weren't barbecued on the outside. They came with barbecue sauce. They were more like drummies because they were so small.
So you got like what's
6.
that show? The show with the guy who does the bars.
Bar Rescue.
You got Bar Rescued.
I got Bar Rescued, yeah.
Like, yeah, we got barbecue wings, and it's like, yeah, they just make wings and throw barbecue sauce on. There you go.
Yeah, well, and then they don't even put it on there. You can dip it in barbecue. So, and then they had celery and ranch dressing with it too. And they were so, and I can appreciate this because I know I just cooked the heck out of just chicken breasts. I mean, they were really fried. They were so crisp on the outside. It was just, yeah. I mean, it kind of reminds me of when they're cutting the turkey in Christmas Vacation, and you can hear it just kind of open up, and that's how it felt when you were taking the skin off of it. It was just so well done. So after that, I'm like, this really wasn't the best. I mean, it wasn't great. It was six little drummies, and I want to say they were 15 or 16 bucks. And yeah, they were not they were not good. They weren't bad, but they weren't good. So I had that, and then I ended up ordering spring rolls and took them up to the room. And there were 3 of them. 3 spring rolls
For
$13.
That's expensive.
It is expensive, yes. So
you didn't go to the other pool, which was the more adult-themed pool.
no.
Which is basically like a rectangle. Not very big.
It's like a pool you would have at your apartment complex. I mean, it's just a...
No, it was even smaller than that. It's like a small backyard pool at a house. Just a rectangle. I think it was also 5 feet. It's more the adult, so it's like chill. Has way more seating around it. Has a couple bocce ball fields on the side. Or pitches, or whatever you call the bocce ball play area.
And at both the pools we went to, you could rent a cabana, and I don't know how much they cost or how far in advance you'd have to rent them, but I knew I wasn't going to stay there all day. I mean, I'm sure everything is an add-on. Everything adds up. They have a spa available on site. It's called the Mandarin Spa. I was really interested in doing a couples massage, and unfortunately, it was $400 for 60 minutes.
That's expensive.
That's that's expensive. I mean, and I will say this, like I was really grateful for our vacation. Mark, asked me what I wanted to do for my birthday, and I wanted to go to this hotel, and that's what we did. And nothing super, super exciting after that. But I mean, anything I wanted to do, Mark is like, what do you want to do now? What do you want to do? And I appreciated that. So it was kind of nice, to do that, and nice to spend some time away from our apartment, which is looking like an episode of Hoarders at this point.
We're pretty messy in here because we're moving.
Yeah, we're pretty messy anyway.
But yeah, we're also pretty messy anyway.
Yes. So if I had the option again, I would stay at Cabana Bay.
Yes.
Or maybe Sapphire Falls, because...
Well, I've never stayed there.
You've never stayed there, so yes. Well, maybe we just need to make weekend there. But I have stayed at Sapphire Falls. There isn't... Again, Sapphire Falls is a little more up there, so there's not as much to eat. I will say, this one thing I appreciated about Cabana Bay and Dockside hotels, they're still part of the Universal family. They're more of a value hotel. And it's geared for kids. I mean, it's geared for, not kids, geared for families, and they do offer more value. You can go to their, Cabana Bay has like a whole cafeteria section you can go to. You can get breakfast, like fresh breakfast. You can get cereals, you can get oatmeal, you can get eggs and sausage. I mean, really a lot of things. And of course they have grab and go too. So I didn't see any grab and go other than the Starbucks.
There was the place called Saul's, but I don't think it was really grab and go.
Yeah.
It was more of, there was some grab and go stuff, but it's like, basically bagel.
Yeah.
Or, pastry. Nothing like a sandwich. I know they had a sandwich, I believe, but it was more, they wanted you to sit there. It wasn't a take and go, grab and go sandwich, breakfast sandwich, or anything like that.
Right.
It had pizza, but again, I don't think the pizza, you can put it in a box and take it, but you have to wait. It's not like grab and go pizza.
Right, and you can't mobile order. I
don't believe you could mobile order there, no.
Yeah, because I looked at a couple of them. Now, we did have, on my birthday, we went to Mama Della's restaurant. I really had wanted some bruschetta. Don't ask me why. I just got this in my head. I wanted bruschetta. And I ordered it, and it was fine. It was fine. I don't know what it is with me lately in the last year. Everything I've eaten that I thought I loved has not tasted like I loved it. It just doesn't taste like I remember it. So, but it had everything. It had the arugula, the tomatoes, the balsamic vinegar, which was and
you didn't like the cheese though.
I didn't like the big hunk of cheese. It wasn't mozzarella, which I'm used to. I can't remember the name of the cheese, but it was more of I think a ricotta type cheese, and it was just pretty salty. But everything else was good. And about the bruschetta, I had lasagna bolognese for dinner, and it was good. It wasn't great. I would not order it again, but it just something about the sauce wasn't just, I don't know. I didn't like the tomato sauce, but I mean, it was decent. It was not worth the price. It was $27. And literally looked like something I would get from a Chef Boyardee can, in my opinion, again. So that's just me. It was, I don't know, maybe 5 by 5. No, it wasn't a big cut. Yours looked huge.
I had the chicken parmesan. It has, a big thing of spaghetti, or, maybe about a fist-size serving of spaghetti next to it. The chicken breast was pounded down flat, and, obviously it's chicken parmesan, so it's fried chicken. Mm-hmm. I thought it was fine. The chicken was good. The sauce was good on mine. It had big flakes of Parmesan, so when they came by and asked, would you like more Parmesan, I was like, no, I think I think there's plenty on here. I should have got more Parmesan. Because even though there were nice big flakes on there, I didn't get much Parmesan flavor from those flakes for some reason. So
right.
It
was more shaved.
I liked my meal better than she liked hers.
Yeah, but there was a live singer. Somebody playing the guitar, and
yes, they had live music.
They came around your table. They asked you, what do you want to hear? And I can't remember what we heard, but I made him dance with me. And yes,
she made me get up and dance in the restaurant.
Yes, when nobody else was dancing.
Nobody else was dancing.
No, and then afterwards we sat. I hugged him. I sat down and. A little bit later, like one of the hostesses had come up and said, "We love seeing you dance. We made everyone in the kitchen stop and look at you." Like, yeah.
But I thought, the little kids and their father were at another table, and they really didn't know what they wanted to hear. So guys started. We're at Universal Resort, but they started singing the song. I can't think of the name of it. It was from Lady and the Tramp when the dogs are eating the spaghetti and the guy like, this is the night. The guy's making like dog sounds and everything while the people are singing. And I thought that was funny. And then
but the kids liked it.
The kids loved it.
Yeah.
And then later on, all of a sudden we hear someone singing the Spider-Man theme song. They're singing the Spider-Man.
Yeah. Like
when we were getting ready to have our dessert. I thought that was sort of funny too. It's like, I'm sure some kids like, sing Spider-Man. And they're like, okay.
Right. and for dessert, we did split a cannoli, and that was really good.
Yeah, she was afraid the cannoli would be bad, but it was very good.
Yeah, it was very good.
The only bad thing is, it was one cannoli,
for
and
$9.
it was $9. And I know we're complaining about, what are you complaining about price where you're staying at a big, huge, more expensive place? But it's like,
it's not something like that we normally do. We would normally go spend $100 on a dinner or whatever, and $10 on dessert for, again, it was a pretty small cannoli, but it was great. I was worried you would have more of a ricotta taste because I have had some cannolis at authentic places.
They made the filling very, very custard-like. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't chunky or fluffy. It was like custard in the middle.
Yeah, I had chocolate chips and
very good.
Yeah, it was very good. I could have had a couple of those, but yeah. So that was our. I guess that's it. Like I said, if you're a family staying and you want the express passes, and that's what's going to drive you to go to that resort, I would say it is a nice little place.
It's a good deal if you want to get the express passes. If you're just a single person and you're staying, you're going to have to think about it, because you don't really need an express pass if you're a single person, because I think single rider line would work better for you.
Yes.
And I just think, I don't know, maybe we're just cheapskates, I guess, I don't know. But I really think you would have a better time at Cabana Bay. Mm-hmm. Cabana Bay is my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah.
Not that Surfside and Dockside were bad. It's just what I want to say. Their food area is much smaller than Cabana Bay's, and they don't have a quick walk to the boats. Like Cabana Bay, you can still walk across the street and get to Sapphire Falls and rent a water taxi.
Right.
It's further away. Oh, that's the other thing I don't really like about Portofino Bay.
Yes.
The parking. You have to go. Let's say you go self-park. So you go and you self-park in one of the most cramped parking lots I've seen for a hotel, besides the one we went to Chicago at.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to go up an elevator to get up to the level of the lobby. Walk outside of the hotel, go into the lobby. Then you have to go either down another elevator or walk down the stairs to get into the main plaza, and then walk to your whatever wing, if you're on the east or the west wing, and get to your room. So you have to go up or down 2 elevators just to get to parking and walk, a pretty big distance.
Right. And I would say, this is typical. Like, I think was $28 a night to park.
Oh yeah, that's typical for.
And I mean, that's typical for a lot of resorts,
a lot of places
nowadays. I will say one thing you didn't mention that was kind of irritating for us because we love to get drinks. And like Cabana Bay, they have their own mug you can buy.
Not like alcohol drinks.
Yeah, just like iced tea and soda or pop, depending what area of the country you're in, or water. Just because who's going to pay $20 for a Fiji bottle that's in your room?
Well, the Fiji bottle, $7.50 for the Fiji bottle. No, thank you.
Right. So we're refillable mug peoples. We people.
So yes, at the value resorts like Cabana Bay and
Dockside,
and I don't know about Sapphire Falls or anything, but they still have the freestyle machines where you get your food, the grab and go or whatever, and you can get a cup.
And you pay for a day, or you pay for the whole time you're
and you
staying.
Can fill that up, or you can use your park freestyle cup to get water.
Yep. And they didn't have that at Portofino.
But they don't have the freestyles at Portofino Bay. I mean, it's obviously because it's more upscale, I guess, but
right.
You could throw a little bit of a bone and have one in Saul's or something.
Or even just like, I would even say just one on the main floor of each building. I don't know.
That's true too, but they don't really do that at the other ones, do they?
Well, no, but
you still have to walk all the way to the lobby.
Yeah, you still have to walk to, or wherever their freestyle machine is. So, yeah, I was, like I said, we were there as a couple. We were there to celebrate. We weren't there to, as use all the stuff and, use all the park benefits. We wanted to use as many of the hotel amenities as we could, and just visit a different hotel than we've ever gone to. But, something we've never gone to but wanted to, and
so it's not worth it for us to go again,
right?
Because we're just me and her and Kylie. If Kylie was with us, it's more cost effective for us to go to Cabana Bay or Dockside or Sapphire Falls.
Or just drive the 30-minute drive.
Or, I mean,
right.
If we were to stay on property.
Yes, we were staying on property.
Because she doesn't ride very many rides except for the Harry Potter ones. Mm-hmm. I don't really ride that many rides either anymore, really, to be honest.
Yeah. But
our daughter loves Men in Black. There's single rider for that. We always do that.
Yep.
Boom, we're on in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, we can ride it 3 times and 3 or 4 times in 20 minutes.
She likes
Storm Force.
Storm Force. That there's no even need
Not
for an express
for
pass on that.
Right.
She likes Jimmy Fallon, which doesn't have express, I don't believe.
But we haven't rode that forever.
But
it does have express.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, it does. But this is the first time we ever had express too.
But hey, I'm not wasting my express. E.T., you get a bit of a wait, 35 minutes. It's not awful. You can cut that in half with the express pass, maybe, because you still have to sit through the pre-show.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, most of the rides I want to go on either have a single rider or
they don't have express pass.
Or they don't have express pass.
Like the newer rides.
Like, I love Velocicoaster. The line moves very quickly on Velocicoaster, so I could see them not doing Express Pass for a long time, just like they're not with Hagrid's.
And Hagrid's just, unfortunately, it's just a high demand ride.
It's just...
You'd never be able to balance the Express.
That's probably why they aren't doing Express, because there's still 90-minute, 100-minute waits.
Right. And I don't even know if they've even got to the point where they're running all the cars yet. You know,
well, I don't think they'll ever be able to run all the cars the way its system doesn't seem to be able to handle more than
4 or 5.
Maybe
even 4, yeah. So, from a local's perspective, Portofino Bay isn't really the best fit for us. But again, you know, who knows? You guys, if you visiting the resort for the first time, you may enjoy it. It's just monetarily, it's just not worth it. You know, I did like I said, I did like having the option to get to the restaurant we wanted to go to, where it probably would have been booked out every.
Yes, that's a very good feature. So if like you want to do Big Fire, or you want to get into Toothsome, or you want to get into Vivo, or
even Cowfish.
You know, if you want to get in any of the big restaurants in City Walk, and it's like booked up and you can't get a reservation while you're trying to, you know, get your trip planned, just once you get to the hotel, say, hey, I want to go to this restaurant, and they're going to get you in.
You could even probably call before your trip. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're staying at Portofino, Royal Pacific, or Hard Rock, you're at a premier resort, you're probably going to be able to just get in.
Yes.
To whatever restaurant.
Yep.
Now, do you want to talk about Big Fire?
No, we'll talk about Big Fire another time. Actually, I'd love to do, if you guys are interested, we've been around the block a few times with Universal, both as locals and out-of-state pass holders. So if you're interested in getting any tips from us, anything we've learned over the years, if you want to submit those in your comments, we'd love to, you know, tell you about them. I was sitting next to a family at Big Fire, and I just heard a couple things. Is we didn't make early park, or we didn't get to the park early enough to do all we wanted to do, and the tickets are so expensive. And I really, the flaw in my character, I want to lean across and say, hey, do you guys know you can upgrade to a pass and probably, you know, be able to come back. You know, sometimes buying a certain pass is...
We'd have to look. I haven't looked at the prices lately, so I don't know what the different price difference is between like a multi-day pass and just buying the annual pass anymore. Mm-hmm. Back when we did it, it's like, what, $50, $100?
It was a $50 difference. So I had bought our tickets through ticketsatwork.com.
This was like years ago, though.
Well, and it hasn't really changed that much. So, because even...
But that was when we lived out of state, too.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Sorry, just something in my bag, or like my bag moved a little bit. And I think it was just the air blowing the...
Yes.
The thing, but fine. I'm sorry, we just found a big roach upstairs, and now I'm like...
Oh, yes, tell everybody, dear.
It's not our fault we got roaches. It's not that we're dirty people.
No. It's Florida.
It's Florida. We're going to get them. So...
But you didn't need to tell everybody, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, if you're interested in hearing more about that, not the roach, but more about park tips and things like that, let us know. We've stayed at Dockside, Surfside, Cabana Bay, Aventura. We just stayed at Portofino Bay, and I've stayed at Sapphire Falls, so that's the only place you haven't stayed. So if you have any questions about the hotels, we'd love to answer them. And if you decide you do want to come to the area, well, hit us up. You know, we know about 3 people here. So, well, maybe more, you know, just a few family members that live here. So if you're interested or have any questions about this video, it went on a lot longer than we expected.
We're still learning all this video stuff. I mean, yes, it's been a while since we made videos. I do apologize for that. But our only computer is commandeered by our daughter while she's in school, and I don't know how much schoolwork she's doing on it, but she does stay up a lot. So basically I'm saying our only computer right now is in our daughter's room, and she uses it quite a bit.
Right. So we don't do any shoot video like
I'm
pre-videos and edit them. So that's why we're doing the lives.
So I need to find a way to get either another computer, which with all the cost of moving isn't going to be for a while, or I need to start shooting and editing some videos while she is not here at the moment. She went to go visit her brother for a little bit, but we'll see what happens. I mean, we might just become a live video channel for a little bit again.
Yep.
Or live to video.
Right. Well, and if you followed us for a while, you know, about a year ago, we had a lot of movie videos. We showed you when our pod came. We showed you when the pod arrived. We gave you a tour of our apartment. So the place we're moving is local. It's about 15, 20 minutes away. There's no direct kind of way to get there.
It'll be interesting. We'll post some stuff for moving.
But we're really excited. And we kind of told you about that in our Portofino Bay video that we're moving, and we can't wait to have an air conditioner that works in every room. Right now it's about 80 degrees upstairs and it's 73 down here. So, and it's expensive too.
So anyway, we gave our thing, right? We said Portofino Bay, probably not. I'm actually sort of disappointed. I thought it would be really nice, really, I don't know, premier. I mean, not that the staff was great. The place does look very nice. I'm sure the other restaurants are very nice as well. There's another big restaurant called Bice, I believe it's called.
And then we went to the gelateria. It was pretty good.
Oh, the gelato place was very good.
Yes.
And the guy behind the counter was very cool. I can't remember his name now, but he was very cool both times I saw him.
Mm. And that was pretty reasonably priced.
The gelato place is actually very reasonably priced. So
and they have a happy hour.
We have a happy hour that we didn't know about.
From like 2 to 4, where
you
get
a large for a small price of a small.
Yes.
The shops had some unique stuff in there. I should have bought that hat, but I didn't. Because I was saving up money for what I did actually want to buy, and I got it. So.
Yeah, but I think it's probably a good time to end this. We've been
we've been here for 42 minutes, and we've probably rambled on, and people are probably watching, or I know a couple people did come in and they left because we were probably talking about nothing important at the time.
Well, and if you know me, you know I work from home, so when I get a chance to talk to anybody.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I talk a lot.
She gets on the phone with people from work, and they don't talk about work for like a half hour, and then they finally get to what they're supposed to talk about. And it's like, that call could have been 10 minutes. Just like this meeting could have been an email. And she gets a lot of stupid. Never mind. I don't want to get her in trouble. Let's just say she gets a lot of calls that really don't need to be meetings. Oh, I hope no one's watching that works with you. I'm sorry.
Well, Matt, if you're watching, he's really not talking about you.
No, I'm not talking about you.
No, I know. Yes. So anyway.
All right, let's get out of here before I get you in any more trouble.
That's right. So thank you for coming.
We'll talk
to our
about
live.
Big Fire, I guess, next time since this one's running long.
Yes, I think if we take it more.
And we're losing light.
The sun went down.
The sun went down, and there's no light in this room.
And the lamp next to us, if I turn it on, I look like an Oompa Loompa. So we'll just avoid that for today.
All right. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Fast forward to every little bit and get something good, hopefully. But we do have, we've lived here for about a year now.
And we've gone to Universal.
For years. So yeah, if you have any questions, give us a comment, or I'm sure you can send actual DMs to people nowadays on YouTube. I can't remember.
I think so,
Direct messages.
But if you know us personally and you're on our Facebook or our Beerman blog, Instagram,
that we haven't updated for a while too.
Since our cupcake challenge, but I will say we have a good video coming tomorrow. We're going to do a live tomorrow with some interesting ice cream flavors that we found, or he found. So if you want to hear about Grey Poupon ice cream, that's one of the flavors we're trying tomorrow.
Yeah, I figured might as well do it. We'll see what happens.
Yep, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. We hope that you tune in. And again, if you turn on the bell notification, you will know when we go live.
Yeah, subscribe. It makes me feel good knowing people watch, and makes me want to make more videos, and it'll get me off my butt to make more. If people, like, comment, subscribe, I guess is the old way they used to say it.
Yes, and ring that bell notification.
Oh yeah, you got to ring the bell now too, apparently. So there you go. All right, we've been rambling an outro for way too long. We need to.
Yep, and I have a Diet Mountain Dew in the freezer just waiting for me, so I don't want it to explode.
All right, so till tomorrow, everybody stay out of trouble. You have your outro?
No.
All right, stay out of trouble. Again.
You are